The following program is presented by the AMP Podcast Network.
This is Woken Matt Hardy, and you are being addressed by the AverageMarks.
And welcome to episode 76 of the AverageMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast. We're broadcasting live from the Collar and Elbow Studios. If we get struck by lightning again, Patrick's stuff may be fried completely and we may go off.
Let's hope that doesn't happen, because we did get struck approximately, 15, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, if we go off for any particular reason, that is why. But I think we should be good. We should be good. The fact that we got struck and the stuff is still working, considering some other things in our building are not working at the moment, but we're good now. So hopefully we stay good.
Right, and with that being the Collar and Elbow Studio, that means you can get 10% off your order at collarandelbowbrand.com. They're always running sales, plus you get the 10% on top of the sale, so it's always a great deal. And you help support your boys, because every time we make a sale with our promo code, one word, no spaces, the Average Marks, they kick a little bit back to your boys. So it's a great way to get a really cool shirt or a hat or a Letterman jacket. Support Al Snow, support your boys. It's a win-win. You get a discount, 10% off with our promo code, TheAverageMarks, one word, no spaces. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch at TheAverageMarks.
It is episode number 76, which means today we are going to be talking about AEW, Double or Nothing, which happened this past Saturday, an amazing show we have on the line. We'll get to them in a second. Of course, NXT Takeover 25, also this Saturday. We will be filling out our scorecard. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce first, since he is the NXT AMP scorecard champion, Cruz Smith. What's up, Cruz?
What up?
Cruz won the NXT title belt. It was back at NXT Takeover New York, correct? You won it?
Yeah, the one...
One for WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah, that's the one.
So, and this is the first time he's defending it. So NXT Takeover 25 in some city, Connecticut, this Saturday night on the WWE Network. Also joining us is Mr. Jonathan Brinkman. What's up, Brink?
The number one contender to the title.
To what? To with the NXT title or
the NXT title?
Well, I thought we were doing like the NXT title, like everybody could do the NXT title, because there's only 5 shows a year. That's the way I think we're doing it. So it's just us four anyway. It's gonna be me, you, Cruz, Brink, Mike Yo, and myself. So it'll be us four. Trying to get the title this weekend for NXT Takeover 25. So Brink, what's up, Brink?
Not a whole lot. Y'all got struck by lightning?
Yeah, we did get struck by or the building. We have at a radio station, you have a big giant, I don't want to sound dirty, but a giant rod in the back of a big metal rod at that, and it's basically like a what they call that, a lightning. It's basically like a giant lightning rod, just waiting to get struck. This is not the first time it's been struck. So it struck about 15, 20 minutes before we went on. So we had to make sure all of our equipment was good. But we're good. We're on the air.
What you're saying is y'all can't catch a break. Y'all got struck by lightning. Y'all got hit by a truck a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Well,
just in a bad
crazy.
Location.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's just you're a bad place at a bad time, I guess. So.
Yeah.
But we are good here. We're getting ready to talk AEW Double or Nothing, because I don't want to try to say AE Double or Nothing like I did a couple of times last week. That happened on Saturday, and of course we'll get to our NXT Takeover scorecards, which you can get from our Facebook page at The Average Mark. So be sure to go download that right now. You can pause the podcast and get ready to play along with us as we can fill those out coming up later on in the show. But first, we're going to talk about what the wrestling world is buzzing about, and that is AEW Double or Nothing, the premier show for Double or Nothing. And the way we're going to do this, I guess, we're just going to go down. And first of all, I'm going to say Cruz won the Double or Nothing scorecard. He scored, you scored 59. Is that right, Cruz?
Something like that.
59. Mike Yo had 56. I had 55, and Brink had 42. So it was a great show nonetheless. And I tell you what, a lot of excitement from the show, a lot of excitement about where it's going, a lot of surprises at the show. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to start talking. We're going to basically just go down the card and get your reactions, and just kind of maybe, skim over some of the less important stuff. But I think everything in the show had some importance to it. So we're going to start with, of course, the Dark Casino Battle Royal. That had a lot of importance to it, as the winner of the Battle Royal or Battle Royale, however you want to say it, would receive a future AEW world championship match against the winner of Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, which was the main event of the show. And of course, you had first of all, you had the 21st entry was a little bit of a surprise unless you're Cruz Smith, because he called it. It was Adam Hangman Page. And the second I seen Hangman Page come out, my thought was, crap, Cruz is gonna win the scorecard. Like, it's already, after the first match, Cruz, whenever you watched it, what was your, I think I know what your reaction was when Adam Hangman Page came out, but tell us, what was your reaction whenever Adam Hangman Page came out as the number 21 entrant?
When they were like, the Joker card, and then I heard the first two notes of Hangman's theme. Like, I was surprised everyone in the crowd didn't go wild at that point, but I guess they didn't exactly know Hangman's theme. But first two notes of the Hangman theme, I get up and I go, yes, take that.
Dude, I popped harder for Cruz than the fact that Hangman was coming in as the Joker.
Well, I tell you what, because I didn't know Adam Hangman Page's theme right off but then I definitely saw, we got Marcus Talbert, of course,
what's up,
in there, fellas. AEW, best thing ever. They're getting there. I wouldn't say that was, there's a few kinks they can work out, and we'll talk about that as we go along.
We had a poll on our Facebook page we can talk about too.
Yeah, we did have a poll, but of course, Cruz, he picked Hangman Page to win the Battle Royal, and of course, that's what ended up happening. There was a couple of things. I know Brink had said, Brink, you were a big fan. You liked what Luchasaurus did in the Battle Royal. Tell us about, what you saw whenever you saw Luchasaurus in the Battle Royal.
Well, coming out of that match, two people really stood out. One, Luchasaurus, because I haven't seen any of them. I have no idea who Luchasaurus is.
Mm-hmm.
Really impressed me in that match, especially when he murdered Joey Janela.
Yes. I did I not say in the chat, I was like, Joey Janela just died.
Yeah.
Because
sure
he went head first.
Yeah,
he went head first into that table. And then, of course, Joey Janela has a match coming up in a little bit. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I think, Luchasaurus really impressed me. I want to see more of Luchasaurus. I want to see more of his gimmick. I want to see more of his moves. I think he can be really intriguing if they use him right.
Yeah.
The other guy who really stood out to me, and I think him more than anybody else on the card really catapulted himself to that next level, to where I'm comfortable saying he's one of the best top 5 heels in the world, and that's MJF.
Oh, absolutely. I love me some MJF.
Is a stud. He's going to be a main player. He's got that cocky arrogance. If you would mix heel Miz and Del Rio, he's that heel that nobody likes, and that's the perfect heel in pro wrestling. He's not a cool heel. He's not a heel that people's going to cheer. He's a heel that gets legitimate heat.
Yeah,
and that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and he has the look, no homo, but dude's he's not a bad looking dude.
Maybe a little bit of homo, right?
Yeah.
But he's got the look. He has, like you were comparing him to Miz. Miz to me has the it factor. I feel like MJF is one of those guys that has the it factor. The dude.
And you know what the craziest thing about it? He's 23 years old.
Very young,
freaking young.
Very young guy. He knows how to work the mic. He knows how to get heat from the crowd. I don't know if someone else was writing his scripts for him, because there was a segment later in the night with MJF interrupting the AEW title presentation, and to me, just a lights out performance from MJF, just top to bottom. I was very impressed. He's, in my opinion, easily the number 2 heel in AEW right now behind Jericho. And if Jericho wasn't there, MJF would be easily.
I would say he's easy top 5 heel in the world.
Yeah.
And if anybody who didn't know who MJF is, the first moments of that Battle Royale, when he beat up the legless dude and called him Lieutenant Dan.
Oh,
that's
God.
all you need to know about MJF.
Speaking of Lieutenant Dan, Marcus Albert says he was pulling for Lieutenant Dan. He should have won. So, but yeah, MJF, he did, and like I said, any chance he got, he did as heel of him. Depending on the situation, the whole thing with the guy that had no legs, he took advantage of any point that he could have done something very, very heelish. He took full advantage of it. He definitely, And he seems like the kind of guy you catch him in public, he will not break character. He will just, get away from me.
No. He's the kind of guy that does interviews in character and makes it really awkward, and it's great.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter said he looked like Tim Tebow and Axe body spray had a baby.
But I tell you what, he impressed me. I'm a big, even though I shouldn't be because he's a heel, but I'm a big fan coming out of Double or Nothing of MJF. Big fan of MJF. So I wanted to touch on that. Brent Cruz. Now I'm going to get to somebody that kind of stood out to me. Cruz, is there anybody else, maybe other than Adam Page, Luchasaurus, or MJF that maybe stood out to you in the Battle Royal?
For sure, lulz, Orange Cassidy won my heart.
That's where I was going to go with it.
Absolutely.
I think, Brink talked about somebody that rose their stock with MJF. I feel like Orange Cassidy, just for the fact that he was on this, on the buy-in where God knows how many people were watching, and did very little, but yet just got his stock just rose so much from doing so little because.
But that's his gimmick.
Yeah, and I've seen, I went and watch other videos of him on the indie scenes doing stuff, and it's the same thing. And the best part about it to me is it's like he goes in there, gives no effort, and he's kicking Dreamer in the legs, and he kind of does a little step back, does a little miniature super kick, whatever you want to call it. And Tommy Dreamer's just like, what is this? Who is this guy? So I thought that was really funny. I feel like Orange Cassidy, almost maybe even more so than MJF, sort of. Because I feel like going into this show, MJF, he showed up at the ticket announcement, I believe it was, or one of the press conferences. He showed up. Maybe it was the original press conference. He showed up. So people had MJF in the back of their minds, whereas a lot of folks, no one knew who Orange Cassidy was going into this event. So I think Orange Cassidy definitely rose his stock. Mikey, anybody in that Battle Royal that maybe stood out to you?
I like Jimmy Havoc a lot.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, man, that director sucked because not only was Janela involved in the best spot with the table, but he also had another great spot that they turned away right before it happened when Havoc put out the cigarette on Janela's forehead.
Yeah, I did see that. They didn't catch when the cigarette was put on the forehead, but they definitely caught it when the cigarette was stuck to his head, and you could see the smoke coming off the cigarette. So, but the Battle Royal was really, really fun. I liked the concept of it. Adam Page, it was. I wouldn't even say it was a surprise, I guess, because Cruz did call it. So so the possibility was all in the back of our heads. But it was a very good Battle Royal, and the right man won, in my opinion. Yeah. So Adam Page will challenge for the AEW Championship coming up. Actually, at All Out. That match will be at All Out August 31st. Now let's move on. Some quick thoughts. Kip Sabian defeated Sammy Guevara. Really good match. Nothing, two tremendous talents in the ring. I think Kip Sabian and Sammy Guevara, those are going to be two really key talents for them going forward. I feel like they could do a lot of good work. It was a good match. It was about a 10-minute match. And Kip Sabian, of course, won. He defeated Sammy Guevara. I think we all got that wrong. Did anybody pick Kip Sabian to win that match?
I did not.
Yeah, nobody picked Kip Sabian to win that match. But it was a good little match, and nothing really crazy to talk about there. It was a good, solid match. It got 3.25 stars, and that's pretty good for a dark, considered a dark match according to this. But
talking about good-looking dudes, I can see them pushing Kip Sabian as one of their bigger faces.
Yeah, certainly. Kip Sabian, I think, could be a really, really good face in AEW. Now let's go to the main card of the show. Started off 6-man tag. It was SCU taking on CIMA, El Lindemann, and T-Hawk. This was a really good match to start. Nothing really crazy to me happened in this match. Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky. I think it was Scorpio Sky. A lot of folks were really, talking highly about Scorpio Sky. Everybody had a really good match though. CIMA this is one of those fun 6-man tags where a lot's happening, and it was just a really, really good way to start the show, in my opinion. That match got actually 4 stars, so it was actually rated pretty good by Unc Melt. We'll go to Cruz. Cruz, what did you think? Any thoughts from the 6-man tag that opened it up?
First thought was whenever the Strong Hearts came out, my first thought was, damn it, if I'd have known that they had a young boy on their team, I wouldn't have picked them. And 2, if that is what OWE has to offer,
yeah,
holy cow.
Yeah, they, you want to talk about some of the people around here do a lot of flippy stuff. They do a lot of flippy stuff. I was very impressed with the Strong Hearts. I think AEW made a really, really good decision in having that partnership with that organization. Brink, any thoughts from that 6-man tag?
It's exactly what it needed to be to open the show. You put 3 guys who are staples on BTE, somebody you know is going to get a massive pop with SCU, and put on a damn good match with the guys from OWE.
Yeah.
Very impressed with them. They had a couple rough spots, but at the same time, I'm excited to see what the OWE guys can do against the other OWE guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we've seen them against SCU, and they did some crazy stuff, but how crazy can it get with people that they're familiar with and work with every day? That match will pique my interest tremendously.
Yeah, definitely had a definitely. I know they can do more. So I think they're right there. That was just a little bit of an appetizer for what's to come. What do you think of that match?
Man, the thing that I got out of it is Daniels is timeless. That dude, he's 48, but he wrestles like he's in his younger 30s still.
Yeah, and I think one of the commentators was talking about that, or maybe it might have been on Busted Open before, because I was listening to a lot of stuff leading up to the show, and I want to say Busted Open on SiriusXM, they interviewed Christopher Daniels and SCU one day, and they were just, raving about, how he's at his age that he is. I think he's in his upper 40s, or he might be 50 now.
He's like 48.
He's up there, and he can still go. I mean, he can still put on a great match, and he's got 2 guys with Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky with him there. So they're doing good things with SCU. Really good match to start the show. As we move on now, the next match was the women's triple threat match. It was Britt Baker, Kylie Ray, and Nyla Rose. And then the first big surprise of the night, Brandy Rhodes came out. And, she kind of swerved us a little bit. I was
looking fine.
Yeah, she was, Cruz. She was. I know that was, that was the part of the show that Cruz hit that pause button for a few seconds. So, but
yeah, she was in her gear. We thought she was.
Yeah, I know. She came out. She had the Chief Brandy thing on her back. Looked really cool. She had some nice attire, and she basically had this, swerved us a little bit, making us think that she was going to join this match, making it a fatal 4-way. However, it was not Brandy Rhodes that joined, but it was none other than Awesome Kong. A nice surprise there. Great pop from the crowd. She joined the match. And boy, I tell you what, when her and Nyla Rose faced off, that was that was a little bit of a moment. But I'm gonna tell you what, and I talked to Brink about this earlier this week. The one person that impressed me the most in this match was Kylie Ray. She's not that big of a physically as a woman, but I tell you what, she is a lot stronger than she looks. She was she was doing some moves that was definitely showing off her strength. That's for sure. She looked really, really good. At one point, I almost hoped she would win the match, but I picked Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, Bebe DDS, who actually won the match. So we go to Cruz. Cruz, what were your thoughts from that women's, what turned out to be a fatal 4-way match?
I think there wasn't enough Nyla Rose and Awesome Kong. They did a lot of outside the ring, sitting around doing nothing. They had their few moments, but I don't like to see a lot, like they showcased Britt Baker and Kylie Ray. They should have did that with Awesome Kong and Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
I'd love to see just a big brawl in the middle of everything.
I guarantee you, if I don't know if Awesome Kong has signed a full-time deal with AEW or not. I know Nyla Rose has.
Is. I believe.
Well, then if that's the case, expect one-on-one Nyla Rose, Awesome Kong, if not in the near future, somewhere down the line. I think they just wanted to maybe give us a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of appetizer, because we know we're going to get that somewhere down the line.
The Meat Limit is a weekly topical movie, entertainment, and television podcast where your 3 soon-to-be new best friends guide you through the world of movies, TV, streaming, Hollywood news, their deepest, darkest desires, and so much more. Join Scarlett, Leon, and Matt as they discuss all things entertainment and what's coming, what's going, what's here to stay, and what should have never been. Plus, bonus content including, but not limited to, personal opinions, medical advice, cooking tips, harrowing tales of terror and suspense, bits of laughter, random games, and the weekly Leon's Corner, patent pending. Tune in and reach your meat limit.
The next match was the 6-woman tag team match. We ain't got to really talk about that. That was good little match. But
did you say the rating for?
Why
Beretta?
wouldn't we talk about that?
We're best
it was
friends?
the first exposure to a Joshi match. That was big for American TV. We'll call it American TV.
Yeah,
because
Go ahead.
You know as well as I know, anyone who watches, they know Ring of Honor, they know WWE, Ring, all that stuff. And now we're starting to learn a little New Japan, but no one watches Stardom and shows like that. And that was a perfect representation of that style from Japan in America for everyone to love and enjoy.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it just brings out that flavor of AEW. AEW caters to every wrestling thing. You like lucha? We got the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
You like physicality? We got Jericho and Omega. You like storytelling? We got Dustin and Cody. You like your traditional American women's wrestling? We got the four-way.
Yeah.
You see some Japanese women wrestle? We got the Joshis.
Yep.
Every style of, you want the comedy? We got Orange Cassidy. I mean, every style, every genre of wrestling that you could want. Deathmatch, Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc.
Yep.
Any style of wrestling you want, AEW has it. And I think that's beautiful.
Yep, very large variety in the types of wrestling that they have with all their talent. They're still building. I mean, right now they're building a solid foundation, and they're only continuing to grow. So I'm still almost on a little bit of a high from the show. But speaking of talk about an all-time high. You want to talk about this next match we're going to talk about, and that is Dustin and Cody. It got 5 stars from Dave Meltzer, the only 5-star match of the night. What an emotional roller coaster this was, and there's a lot to take away from this match. First of all, obviously, you want to talk about Cody's entrance. Had the Triple H throne, obviously, is what it was. Then Cody takes a sledgehammer, which is Triple H's signature weapon, and he smashes the throne, basically, is what he does. He hits it with the sledgehammer and smashes it during his entrance. And, a lot of people think, okay, that's him taking a shot at Triple H. And while it was a little bit of a shot at Triple H, not necessarily, a bad shot. It was more so that Cody was basically talking about how he's the EVP of the company, but he wants to be a wrestler first, which is why he destroyed this throne. He doesn't want to take that executive role, on full time just yet. He wants to, of course, do those roles, but at the same time, he wants to be a wrestler first. And so that's the message that he says that he was basically sending right there. Now we move on to the match. Match was fantastic. Probably the best match, if not the best match, in Cody and Dustin's career. And it got a 5-star rating. And I tell you what, boy, Dustin lost a lot of blood in this match. I don't think it's been a long time. And Marcus, I guess you're talking about the Dustin Cody match. Marcus says that match was the best. That's why I love wrestling. I think it's why everybody loves wrestling. Tremendous match, an absolute bloodbath for Dustin, and Cody was covered in Dustin's blood as it was already. So it was a tremendous match, back and forth. You really didn't know who was going to win, but certainly Cody won in the end. I had said, on the preview show that we did, that it was going to be like a passing of the torch from Dustin Rhodes to Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes, now I guess you could say he's officially killed the Attitude Era, which is what he set out to do by beating his older brother, who was a big staple of the Attitude Era. I'm going to go back to Cruz. Cruz, what did you get, or what did you take out of the Cody and Dustin match?
Everything about that match was pretty much everything you could want in a match. Physicality, storytelling, emotion, good wrestling. It was just an all-around good match. I said before the podcast, I was like, do I think that the match itself as a whole was the best match? No. But if you take in every single thing, I can understand why Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars, because it hits every point on the head. If you judge a match, well, they were really physical, but, that's it. It was just a bunch of flippy stuff and then went to the finish and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This was everything you could possibly want in a match.
It was. And I tell you what, my favorite part, I'm going to get to Brink, though, first. Brink, what did you take away from this match?
Storytelling 101. It was like Cruz said, to me, it was not a 5-star wrestling match, but if you take all the elements, the wrestling, the story, the emotion in that match, 5 stars without a doubt.
Now, my favorite part wasn't even during the match. It was after the match, and in my opinion, this might go down as one of the greatest callbacks in the history of pro wrestling when Cody basically cut the promo after the match. Dustin didn't even know this promo was going to happen, I don't believe. After the match, he was interviewed saying he had no idea Cody was in. He fully intended on leaving his boots in that ring and retiring right there. Cody comes back in, and so I'm sure a lot of fans have seen the comparison when Dusty cut the promo on Dustin many years ago. I think back was in WCW.
Yeah.
This was a long time ago. And Cody, damn near word for word, cut the same, very, very similar promo to his brother right there at Double or Nothing, basically saying, in front of God and the world. And it was, and I didn't notice it at the time, but now that I look back at it, watching that just gives me even more goosebumps knowing that Cody was calling back, to the American Dream, a promo he did on Dustin many, many years ago. So that right there was just, the icing on the cake for everything that they did up until that point. I mean, the build-up to that match was great. The match was great. The entrance, had a lot, even though it had very little to do with the story, was kind of a nice, I guess you'd say lanyap to the match, a little thing there that Cody did. And, the blood, just everything. And then, Dustin at 50 years old doing some things in there that not a lot of 50-year-olds can do in that wrestling ring. It was just absolutely amazing. Best match of the night, in my opinion. Definitely deserved 5 stars. Best match of Cody's career, best match of Dustin's career, in my opinion. Mikey O, anything to take away from that match?
Yeah, definitely. We put over Cruz for the Hangman pick. Can we put over Mikey O for calling the tag team?
Which one was that?
Cody and Dusty.
Oh, yeah, you called it, yeah, because you wanted them to tag a while back, and now they're going to tag at Fight for the Fallen and take on the Young Bucks. So another brother. Is it that now that the Young Bucks, they can only fight teams that are technically brothers, I guess, or whatever?
They're gonna have a brother tag team championship.
Brother.
I know, right? They got enough. You get a few more tag teams in there. You got yourself a brother tag team division. Marcus Talbert says in the chat to listen to the commentators tell a story. To listen to them repeat that his brother blood, you're covered in your brother's blood, the story behind it, the story they told, just amazing. I did love the callback to Stardust. That too. That was another. That was also really good. The callback to Stardust. I enjoyed that too. So just everything about that match. I can't say a single bad thing about that match except there was maybe a botch here or there, but I mean there was blood all over the. There was. I mean, Dustin was bleeding. Like, I'm telling you, I've not seen a man bleed like that in professional wrestling in a very, very long time. It was gushing out.
Well, then you don't watch Backyard Wrestling, do you?
No, I haven't watched Backyard. But, of course, I didn't think Backyard Wrestling.
Dustin's daughter said he lost like a pint.
God,
he lost a lot. I mean, because he had the red face paint that covered half his face. By the end of the match, you couldn't even tell. You forgot what side of his face he painted because it was just red all over. So, absolutely fantastic match. Well-deserved of 5 stars. As we, let's see, I'm going to start kind of speeding it up. Well, not necessarily speed up. We've got 2 matches left to talk about. The AAA Tag Team title match, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson defending against Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix. This match, to me, was the best match of the night because, let's face it, 2 of the best tag teams in the world, hands down. And it felt like you can tell just by the little things they were doing extra in this match, like getting in each other's faces, Pentagon doing that, they're whatever it is, they're taunt or whatever, like in his, yes, dude, just getting in their faces. It was just, it felt personal. It felt like they really did not like each other. And of course, both tag teams, in ring, bell to bell, absolutely tremendous. It was a great match, a lot of flippy stuff, which I enjoy. A lot of people were complaining there was too much flippy stuff, but they can go to hell. So, it was the best match of the night, I mean, wrestling-wise, in my opinion. To me, that got what it deserved, 4 3/4 stars from Dave Meltzer. Just an amazing match. It was one of those matches, and like I said, the thing that stood out to me is it's like any chance they got, they were just getting in each other's faces. Like, they weren't even wrestling. They were just getting in each other's faces, like, just, you could tell. You just felt the animosity between the 2 teams, and it was absolutely awesome. Go to Cruz. Cruz, what were your thoughts on that tag team match?
That was definitely what I feel the best match of the night was. It was everything you could ever hope for out of a Young Bucks Lucha Bros match. They all went back to the well. Young Bucks hit every finisher that they own. They used moves from people that they used to know, one being from the second greatest luchador ever behind Chico, El Generico. I mean, they did everything you could ask for. I feel like that was match of the night. It was action-packed, lots of flippy, lots of goodness.
Yeah, it was.
What was it, like 22 super kicks or something like that?
It was a lot. I think it was a lot.
I told y'all that was going to be a lot, and I knew I undershot it.
Yeah, I knew I did too, but I was hoping I didn't. Bree, what did you think about that tag team match?
I think everybody in the world, and especially in the States, know who the Young Bucks are. I think everybody in the world and the majority of the people in the States know who Pentagon is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people know or have seen a lot of Ray Phoenix. And he had a coming out party. If you didn't know who Ray Phoenix was before, you know now, because some of the stuff that he did and pulled off is out of this freaking world. The athleticism that he has, the agility that he has, the strength that he has, it is unreal.
Yeah, another guy that raised his stock, although his stock was pretty high already as it was, but definitely raised it a little bit more with, I guess, the the more casual fans who watch more product, I guess, here in the States and don't really see, the other stuff. But Mike, what did you think of that tag match?
Didn't see it. My bootleg stream got shared on Reddit, and then it got shut down.
Got shut down, huh? Hot dang, don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah.
Huh?
If only you knew somebody who ordered it that would let you watch it.
Dang Reddit.
Yeah, no, I should have sent you the link to watch it.
Yeah. If only there were more than one person who ordered it so you could watch it.
You know what? I thought about it. We should all just got the same link and just split it, like $20 a pop. Like that would have been better. But I tell you what, $50 it was worth it. It was more than worth it in my opinion.
We'll make a BR Live account for AverageMarks, and then we'll all put in some money and we'll buy it every time.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to entrance. I like how they kind of did the different phases of Jericho from when he was the Lionheart, and then, of course, whenever he had the light-up jacket, and then the list of Jericho, and then he came out to now, I guess, the new version of him because he's always recreating himself. This match, it was a good match. I'm not going to say it was a bad match. It was not the best match of the night, despite what, some of them Omega marks out there might think. But certainly, like the guy on Facebook, and I was like, I said the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks were the second best overall match of the night, if you include everything, behind Cody and Dustin. And then he was like, even before Cody, Omega and Jericho. It's like, yeah, dude. Like,
was
come
that
on,
Randy?
Now. I don't know. I don't know who it was. Like,
screw Randy.
I seen he shared something today in one of the groups. I thought of you. But yeah, so Jericho and Omega. At the end of the day. I had a feeling Jericho. I think we all picked Jericho. I think did you pick Omega? I think you might have been the odd man out that picked Jericho because I had a feeling, Jericho signed a 3-year deal. Omega signed probably a 3 or 4 year deal. This is not the last time we're going to see Jericho and Omega in the ring again. I think eventually, when it comes down to a world title match, they're going to have Kenny beat Jericho somewhere down the line, depending on if he beats. Which now, of course, he defeated Kenny Omega, so now it'll be Adam Hangman Page taking on Chris Jericho at All Out for the inaugural AEW Championship, or to become the inaugural AEW World Champion. So that'll happen August 31st. Mikey, did you get the bootleg back up before that match came back?
Well, I saw some clips on YouTube.
Okay.
And hey, can you turn that down a little bit?
Yeah.
And what got me was the caviness of Jericho's chest. It looks like he can lay down in bed and pour some milk in there and eat a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, I know. And Kofi Kingston has that too. I don't know what. It might be some kind of just, some in the genes, I guess.
Looks like somebody took a sledgehammer and just caved his chest cavity in.
Maybe Cody was back swinging that thing around before the show and he hit Jericho with it. I don't know. Let's go to Cruz now. Cruz, what were your thoughts on Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho?
Probably third best match of the night. Not one of the best matches I've ever seen Kenny Omega or Jericho in.
Well, they said...
this one had a reason, but, Jericho going over Omega was obvious, apparently to some of us.
Yeah.
But the matches he loses for no reason, like not taking into account, like everything against Okada, there was a reason for it. It's a huge title match and it's huge G1 match, but everything, like, he doesn't put on the show that he normally puts on.
Yeah.
It's like he's not holding back, but it's not like a 7-star match. He's going to go out there, he's going to do what he has to do, and he's going to put the other guy over just like he has to.
Are you saying he's going to pull a Randy Moss and go
case more Prince for Jericho? That was really awesome. It was also awesome in the fact that it was Cody who designed it.
Yeah, I mean,
that was nice.
Yeah, and Kenny, I like Kenny's new theme. I'm kind of a fan.
Sounds like girls' music. Like a girl should be coming out to that.
Well, I thought it was all right. Like I said, I've heard worse.
I didn't really hear it that well, but from what I understand, he's gonna, just like they did the Best Friends entrance, he's gonna release his so everyone can hear it. Just because he said that there were a bunch of people who couldn't hear it that well, so we'll hear it.
That's
without
terrible.
Everybody popping.
And he wrestled the whole match with a broken schnoz.
Who?
Omega.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know he had a broken schnoz.
Yeah, that's what Cody said.
I love Jericho's answer to that. They asked him, they were like, what spot broke Kenny Omega's nose? He was like, no, it wasn't a spot. I punched him in the face.
Good old Jericho. Brink, what did you think of that Omega Jericho match?
Solid match. I agree with Cruz. It wasn't Omega's best match. It wasn't Jericho's best match, but it was still. It just shows how good Omega and Jericho is when they can have one of their, like, it not be one of their best matches, and it's still better than almost any match the Feds put on all year.
This is not the Dump on Fed show.
NXT excluded.
Throwing out facts. No, it was a solid match. Jericho winning makes sense because Hangman won the Battle Royal, so now you got your super over babyface and Hangman. You got your super top 2 heel in the world in Jericho. And that's going to be a great match at All Out.
Absolutely. Now, of course, when it comes to the Jericho-Omega match, more folks were talking about what happened after the match. Jericho was getting ready to cut a promo. Basically, he said if he'd win the match, he wanted a thank you from whoever would thank him. And, somebody in particular was, I guess, in a thanking mood, but... we got to see the AEW debut of one Jon Moxley, who I thought ironically came down the same way the Shield would come through the crowd, except he took a little bit of a U-turn. Came out, gave the Dirty Deeds to Jericho, which I guess it's still called the Dirty Deeds. I don't know. And then, of course, him and Omega got into it. He went to Dirty Deeds Omega, but then Omega pushed him out of the ring. They brawl through the crowd, and then eventually Dean throws him off the big poker chips on the stage, and that's how the show closes. Cruz, what were your go back to Cruz? Cruz, what were your thoughts when you seen that when they cut to Jon Moxley coming through the crowd?
Well, like I said in the chat, I'll redo that story. Jericho wins. He grabs the mic. And he's about to start talking, and my stream freezes and cuts out.
Oh.
And I'm like, I really don't feel like listening to Jericho talk because I know what it's going to be. I won. You owe me a thank you. I built AEW. I'm going to be the first champ because AEW is my toy to play with.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it just in case, Cody comes out and confronts him or anything happens. And I'm so glad I restarted it because, lo and behold, Jon Moxley comes out and does work.
And I had said, in the chat that it took me a minute, but, you see Moxley and Omega. First of all, I think when Moxley, Omega was out because he got hit with the Judas effect and he didn't move until after Moxley hit Jericho with the Dirty Deeds, and then Moxley walks over to Omega, and I'm thinking, holy cow, like this is so surreal. Like Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega are staring at each other right now, and they start brawling. I'm like, I can't believe I'm watching these two guys brawl right now. This is absolutely amazing. They brawl through the crowd. It was absolutely awesome. We now know that Dean Ambrose has signed a contract with AEW. He will also make his New Japan debut next week at the Best of the Super Junior Finals. against Juice Robinson for the United States IWGP US Championship. That'll be fun.
You should have seen that pop fest between me and Brink. It was out of control.
Yeah,
we were at work. I texted Cruz, "Are you on break? Or are you still here?" He said, "Yes, I'm in the break room." So I ran from my office to ADR to go sit with him. And it's like, "I got to show you this video." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "It shows who has been putting these videos against Juice." He's like, "Okay." It's like, so I started playing the video. It's like, "I've seen this video." So you haven't seen the end of it? He said, "There's an end of it?" I'm like, "Yes, there's more that they never showed." And when they showed it, he had the same facial reaction that I had. It was kind of orgasmic.
Yes, it was. I woke up the next morning to the chat. Y'all just lit up the chat and to say that.
Working out hard.
Yeah, and I marked out kind of hard too. Well, actually, I think I woke up and seen on Facebook that it was John Moxley behind those videos, and then I went to the chat to let everybody else know. But y'all were way ahead.
On top of it,
yeah, y'all were way ahead of me on that. So
I was working nights last week. When New Japan announced it at like 10 in the morning their time,
yeah,
it was like 3 in the morning our time. I was still awake, brother.
Yeah, now you know why Conrad could always break news to us before we got to it. Mm-hmm. It's because he is morning where he's at whenever it's night for us. We did the same thing. We were working nights, and we just let you guys have it.
Yeah, so yeah, that was so that's gonna be pretty cool. John Moxley will be in New Japan. His first AEW match will take place. I think he's gonna fight with Joey Janela. Is that correct?
At Fyter Fest.
At Fyter Fest, so that'll be his first AEW match there. So John Moxley, what did you think?
It'll be a death match.
Mikey O, what did you think about John Moxley?
Yeah, the best part were like his promos on YouTube afterwards. Like that line is priceless. We're not reading history books anymore. We're writing them.
That's right. They are. So
it's a paradigm shift.
I got goosebumps whenever he was like, "This is a paradigm shift."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, big words."
So yeah, John Moxley.
I
Go ahead.
want one of them poker chips.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Them things are huge.
Those things are huge.
Talk about, my goodness. You could do fireman carry.
I collect poker chips from all kind of casinos, so can I have that one?
You can do fireman carry. You can fireman carry people off that big poker chip, like Moxley did. All right, so that's basically what happened. AEW Double or Nothing. The next show is Fyter Fest, which is like an AEW CEO joint thing. I think AEW's next really, really big show is going to be Fight for the Fallen, which will be July the 13th. Looking forward to that one, certainly. Mm-hmm. All right, now this coming. Well, let's see I don't know where we are on time at all, to be honest. No,
so we're just going to have to roll.
No clue. So we're just going to roll through it here. This Saturday.
Change that graphic.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me here. This coming Saturday is, where's it at? There it is, NXT Takeover 25 in some city, Connecticut, near the headquarters. The 25th Takeover, I tell you what, it's been 25 takeovers already, and we can still argue that the best wrestling product on the planet right now is NXT. So, and this is going to be a huge, huge show. I really expect. I expect them to sort of maybe pull out all the stops for this show, like not necessarily a 25th anniversary, but it's going to be treated like a 25th anniversary, in my opinion. So, you guys got your scorecards ready to rock and roll?
Were they calling it 25?
Yeah, I'm
because
currently looking at my piece of paper with doodles on it.
Because they're counting like the Florida Championship Wrestling days.
Ever since they started NXT Takeover, this is the 25th NXT Takeover.
Oh, I got you.
So that's what it is. So it's been about 5 or 6 years, so because they do about 5 a year, so that's about do the math. It's about right. So, all right. Well, if you haven't downloaded the scorecard yet, go to our Facebook page. You can download it right now. Pause the podcast and get ready to play along with us. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. The first match on the scorecard is a singles match. It'll be Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. Since Cruz is the NXT champion, I will let him choose, I guess, the order of how we go.
We're going to go Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to go Brink. Then we're going to go
Brink's
Mikey
like...
O. And then we're going to go me.
Okay, so me, Brink, Mikey O, and Cruz. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll go first. Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. I'm very impressed with Matt Riddle at NXT TakeOver New York. I think he needs a push I don't see why he would lose to Roderick Strong, so I got Matt Riddle winning. I got him via submission. I think he'll submit Roderick Strong, be about 11-minute match time, and I think there will be outside interference. I don't know from who. Maybe the Undisputed Era comes out and does a little something, but we'll see. But I'm going to go yes. So I got Matt Riddle sub, 11 minutes, and yes. Let's go to Brink. What you have for that match?
I also have Matt Riddle by sub. I got it going 14 minutes, and I say no interference.
Okay, so Brink's going no interference. Mikey O, what you got for Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong?
Would you be able to read that in between us, Patrick?
What you mean?
A little sheet of paper right there.
Read what?
Your scorecard.
Yeah, I can.
Would you be able to put it right here?
Yeah,
and read it?
yeah.
The whole lightning strike thing threw me off. My paper's downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Matt Riddle. I got it being a pinfall because I think the Undisputed Era is going to come down and put a beat down on Roderick Strong and make him lose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and kind of divorce him out of the group, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Match time, 12 minutes, and yes, outside interference.
Let's go now to the NXT champ, Cruz. Cruz, what you have for Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong?
Like I've been doing the whole time, I'm going to go opposite of everyone and choose Matt Riddle by sub. I know it's not opposite. That's the joke.
Okay, I was about to say.
Matt Riddle
I was like, wait,
sub,
what?
12 minutes, and I believe there will be interference because of this whole Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Era debacle thing going on, which I don't think we should be starting to break people off of this thing, but you know what? Since they want to screw everything up anyway, why not?
That's what WWE Creative does. They hate stables.
Well, in their defense, Roddy Strong was not originally with Undisputed Era.
Yeah, but he made it better.
He's only added to the faction.
He's been there for about because he moved over in at War Games. No, it wasn't War Games. It was NXT Takeover New Orleans. So he's been with the group for a little over a year now. So
it's a full PWG faction, man. Keep them together.
Yeah,
they really are a great faction. They're the best faction in NXT history, probably. Well, no, they are. So let's go now to.
That's debatable.
What's the other faction that you? Undisputed Era still has some room to grow. So we'll.
Agreed.
So let's go now to the next match on the scorecard. It is the North American Championship. The Velveteen Dream taking on a returning to NXT Tyler Breeze, which is where he belongs, in my opinion. So not as a bad thing. Well, Brink's shaking his head over there. Why are you shaking your head?
No, I'm agreeing with you. You said that that's where he belongs, and it's not a bad thing. And I was like, no, it's not a bad thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is where Tyler Breeze thrives, in my opinion. So, Velveteen Dream versus Tyler Breeze. I'm going to go ahead and go first. I think Velveteen Dream's going to retain here via pinfall, 6 near falls, and I got 5 aerial moves. Let's go to Brinkman. Brinkman, what you have for the North American Championship match?
Tyler Breeze's gimmick is made for NXT. The gimmick didn't get over with the main audience and the casual fans.
Oh, yeah.
Them hardcore wrestling fans, they appreciate gimmicks like that. Hell, they love Orange Cassidy, so why wouldn't they love Tyler Breeze?
Exactly.
I got Dream winning still by pinfall, 7 near falls, 5 aerial moves. All
right, let's go to Mikey O. Mikey O, what you have for this match?
Yeah, I got Dream winning as well. Pinfall, 4 near falls, and I can't remember what I put down. We'll go with 3 aerial moves.
3 aerial moves. All right. May or may not be the right what he actually put on his scorecard, but we're going by whatever you put on the scorecard. So. All right, let's go to the NXT champ, Cruz. Cruz, what you have for the North American Championship match?
Everything that you said is the reason why I made this pick. Tyler Breeze needs to stay in NXT, and the way you're going to keep him in NXT is by putting him over those 5 aerial moves.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they take that North American title off of Dream, then they must put him in at least the NXT title picture for sure. So let's go now to a match that, man, I tell you what, this is going to be a fun match to watch. It's a ladder match for the NXT Tag Team Championships, currently held by Vacant, the most decorated champion in the WWE history. So you got Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch taking on Street Profits, taking on the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, taking on the Forgotten Sons, which is a team that consists of Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler. With that being said, I got Street Profits winning. I really didn't know who to pick here. I think any of these 4 teams might walk out of here with the NXT Tag Team titles. But I'm going to go with Street Profits. They haven't won the title yet. Although Lorcan and Burch, the one time they did challenge for the titles, I thought they were very impressive as well. But I got Street Profits winning. First to climb the ladder, I'll take Bobby Fish. First to touch the belt, Oni Lorcan. First to get hit with the ladder would be Montez Ford. 12 aerial moves, which I feel like is still too low. And the last to touch the belt and lose, Kyle O'Reilly. Let's go to Brink now. Brink, what you got for the ladder match?
Don't be surprised if that another team is added and Vacant gets his partner, mystery partner, because that team is just OP. All right, both tech-rated champions.
Hell yeah!
I did WrestleCast yesterday, and we didn't do individual people. We did teams for the extras.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just did the teams instead of like the individual person.
Uh-huh.
I was about to say I did teams on this as well. So whenever I say a team, name a person off that team, and I'll pick that one.
Okay.
Well, go ahead. Well, I tell you what. Go ahead and do teams, and I'll just and what we can do if y'all want, I can just take my individuals I chose and just apply the team to that slot.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, we'll do that.
I had Undisputed winning, and then Martin. No, I had Forgotten Sons winning, and then Martin picked Forgotten Sons, so I changed it to Undisputed Era because Martin sucks. Then I started thinking about it as like, man, I really do in my heart believe that Forgotten Sons is winning this match. So I went back to Forgotten Sons winning this match. I got the Street Profits aerial moves, and I think the last to touch the belt and lose will be Lorcan and Birch.
All righty, let's go to Mike Yo. Mike Yo, what you have for the ladder match?
Yeah, I got Undisputed Era winning. I got first to climb the ladder, Undisputed Era. First to touch the belt, Undisputed Era. First to get hit by the ladder, Forgotten Sons, because there's two big dudes. So I think they're going to try to target them. Aerial moves 4, because I don't see many high flyers here.
Mm-hmm.
And then last to touch the belt and lose, the Street Profits.
All righty, let's go to the champ, Cruz. Cruz, what you have for this ladder match?
I have the Undisputed Era winning. It's going to set up a theme. The first one is Street Profits. I don't have the thing up. Hang on. What is the first one? First to climb the ladder is Street Profits. First to touch the belt is the Forgotten Sons. First hit with the ladder is whoever that Larkin guy is. 13 aerial moves, and the last to touch the belt and lose, I have the Street Profits.
All righty. Let's go now to a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. It'll be the was it the best wrestler in forever? Or since forever?
Best wrestler you've seen in like forever.
Not true.
Oh, well. I forgot
It
what
is true. That's
forgot what her nickname was, but it's Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai. I will go first. I picked her to win back at NXT Takeover New York. She did not win, so I will pick her again here. I'm picking Io Shirai to win this match via pinfall. And by the way, if God came down and said you can have any Asian on this earth, who would it be? It would be Io Shirai. 4 finishers, yes, outside interference. So let's go to Brink now.
Dang.
Yeah, just saying.
if God came down and said you can have whatever Asian,
If you can have one Asian for the rest of your life, I'm gonna be like, give me Io Shirai.
I would have a triple threat match between Asuka, Io Shirai, and Kairi Sane, and the winner gets me. Not that they'd be winning much of anything, but still.
Or you could do like they do in golf, like a foursome. Just saying.
You're right. There's no arguing that. That being said, I'm picking the best wrestler you've seen in forever by submission. 2 finishers, yes, outside interference.
All right, let's go to Mike Io. Mike Io, what you have for the women's NXT Women's title match?
I had Baszler, submission, 5 finishers, and no outside interference.
All right, you don't think Jessamine Duke or Shafir is going to...
She won't need it.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the NXT Champ Cruz. What you have for the women's NXT Championship?
I picked easily the Asian with the biggest donk in the WWE currently, Io Shirai.
Yeah.
5 pin, 4 finishers, no outside interference.
All right. And then finally, the main event, the NXT Championship rematch from NXT TakeOver New York. Johnny freaking Wrestling, almost just said Johnny Football for some reason. Johnny Wrestling Gargano taking on Adam Cole Bebe. With that being said, I got Adam Cole Bay winning the match via pinfall, becoming the NXT champ for the first time. Match time, I got a whopping 27 minutes. I got 9 near falls, and I will say, yes, there will be outside interference. Let's go to Brink now. Brink, what you have for the NXT championship match?
I have Johnny Wrestling by submission, 22 minutes, 7 near falls, yes, outside interference.
Alrighty, let's go to Mikey O. Mikey O, what you got?
Yeah, I'm going with Gargano as well. Pinfall, 21 minutes, 7 near falls, and no outside interference.
Alrighty, going to the NXT champ Cruz, what you got?
Remember that theme I was talking about?
Yeah.
Adam Cole, baby. By pin, 22 minutes, 6 near falls. Yes, there will be outside interference. I have the Undisputed Era with a full sweep.
Oh, wow. All right, let's go to table destruction now. I got English being destroyed, Spanish being good. Brinkman, what you got?
They don't break tables in NXT. Both are good.
All righty, Mikey O, what you got?
I went with the Cruz method. Both are good.
All right, and speaking of Cruz, what did you go with?
I have them both destroyed.
What?
I'm lying. I have them both good.
I was about Mikey O, what?
Speaking of swerving.
Yeah, talk about a swerve there. All right, everyone's
No, they're both good.
All right, everyone's favorite part of the scorecards. It is the unscheduled. I see they allow us. I think it's only 5 they allow. I just want to double check and make sure because I put down 5.
Yeah, it's 5.
Okay, it's 5 people. All right. My unscheduleds: Candice LeRae, Finn Balor, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, and Charlotte Flair. Let's go to Brinkman now. Brinkman, your unscheduled.
Jessamine Duke and Shafir. I can't remember her first name.
Marina.
They're not on the scorecard under the women's match, and they're going to interfere in the match, so they're going to be there. That's 6 points for me. Thank y'all.
Oh, Mike Yo doesn't think so.
Tommaso Ciampa.
That's a good one.
I got burned on it last time, and I didn't pick him. I wish I would have. Kushida.
Oh. Why is he not on this card is what I want to know.
Yeah, well, he's still new there.
Yeah, but I guess they got big plans for him. So
my 5th one, I took a different approach. I was like, they're in Connecticut. WWE headquarters is in Connecticut. So I was trying to think of people from like The Office that's not really on TV all that much. And I came within millimeters of putting down Linda McMahon.
I was about to say Linda.
But then I realized Vince doesn't even know what NXT is. I highly doubt Linda does. So I went with a guy. This is totally random. If he's there, I'm legitimately going to crap my pants. He works in the office. He just got hired back. He has one of the best podcasts around. I'm going with Bruce Pritchard.
Okay, Bruce Pritchard. All right, that's an interesting.
I say if he's there, I automatically.
If you're going to go that route, I think who I would have picked in that. I'd have picked Road Dogg because Road Dogg is now working for NXT full time. So I would have went that route, but I didn't even think about it till just now. So, but I'm not changing my picks. Let's go to the champ now, Cruz. Cruz, who are your unscheduleds plus your gimmick pick?
What about Mikey O's?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to skip Mikey O. Mikey O, my bad. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mikey O. Mikey O, who do you have for your unscheduled?
Yeah, I think with it being such a big show, they're going to want to put some shine on some of their UK talent. So I'm going to go with Walter, Pete Dunne, and Tony Storm. And then I got Tommaso Ciampa and Candice LeRae.
Okay, that's a pretty solid 5 if you ask me. All right, let's go to the champ now, Cruz. Now it's Cruz's turn. Cruz, your unscheduleds plus your hockey player that you got.
Spoiler alert, this is NXT.
So?
I don't have a gimmick pick for NXT.
That's all right. That's lame.
Also,
the whole show's ruined now.
Also, they were in Nowheresville, Connecticut for Money in the Bank, and now they're in even more Nowheresville, Connecticut. You think I could pull 2 hockey players out of my
They're not just saying they're not far from New York, and New York has 2 hockey teams, just saying.
Let's call it 3 with New Jersey.
Okay.
But anyway, unscheduled. Marina Shafir, Jessamine Duke, Candice LeRae, Asuka, and Kevin Owens.
Okay, that's pretty good. Another good little 5 there. All right. Well, that that wraps up the NXT Takeover scorecard. So, of course, NXT Takeover 25 happening Saturday night, WWE Network from some city into Connecticut. So, with that being said, Cruz, any final?
Who the hell cares, Connecticut?
Why would they? If this is such a big show, why would they put it in Nowheresville?
Well, Triple H, I think they actually interviewed Triple H and asked him a question about that. And, he said, NXT TakeOver, they've been all over. They first started like in Florida at Full Sail, and they've been all over the place, but they kind of he wanted to be able to come home, so to speak, I guess like, near the headquarters or whatever the case. And of course, Triple H is from Connecticut too. So he kind of wanted to bring, because let's face it, Connecticut has never, I don't think Connecticut's ever had an NXT TakeOver, or I don't even know if NXT's ever been to Connecticut ever. For any live show or anything. So
then why didn't they go to Hartford?
I don't think anyone's ever been to Connecticut. So
yeah, if you drive through Connecticut, you blink, you might miss it.
Like Hartford's the only town that people would know in Connecticut.
But they got Bridgeport, they got Hartford, and
nobody knows Bridgeport.
Well, they do now. So I don't know. I guess he just they probably had not brought the NXT product to Connecticut in a while, if ever, especially in NXT TakeOver. So I think Triple H wanted to, bring that to an hour or so from New York City. So it'll be fun Saturday night. We'll you got any final thoughts on anything because we're getting ready to wrap it up here. So you got any final thoughts on anything we discussed today, whether it be NXT or AEW?
Looks like Brink might be using some CBD from our sponsor, CBDforyou.net.
Yeah, he's
We'll go with that. Sponsors, yay!
Yay! Boom, Bambox, yay!
Yay, sponsors! Yay, Bambox!
Yeah, bringing back that Bambox. Well, let's go. We'll go to Brink. Brink, any last thoughts? AEW or NXT Takeover 25?
AEW is gonna be fantastic. It's just is. It's American New Japan. I'm not upset with it. Also, best of the Super Juniors for New Japan. Block B is tonight / this morning, and then I think in a couple days is the finals, where it's a loaded card. You got the winner. We're gonna find out the winner of the best of Super Juniors.
Yep.
You're gonna have John Moxley going to New Japan for the first time to challenge Juice Robinson. You're going to have Jay White versus Tanahashi.
Oh, okay.
It's a loaded card, and there's only 3 matches announced.
Yeah, so
it's a great hair match.
That's
too.
coming up.
New Japan.
That's coming up on June the 5th. I think that's next Wednesday. So Wednesday
next
here.
Wednesday, yes.
Yeah, next Wednesday. All right, and Cruz.
Wednesday night, early Thursday morning.
All right, Cruz. Any final thoughts on AEW or NXT or NXT Takeover 25?
No, Brink stole my spiel.
Okay, well, simple enough. Well, with that being said, I don't have anything.
Also, before I forget,
go ahead.
Watch New Japan.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Best of the Super Juniors. By the way, I don't think we mentioned it, but the finals on a Wednesday. So watch it Wednesday. New Japan World. It's only 999 yen a month. So, all right.
But if you sign up now, you can watch the Best of Super Juniors final Wednesday.
Yeah, it's on Wednesday. So
and it'll run into the G1 Climax.
Yeah, that's true. The G1 Climax is coming up in July, so that's going to be.
And then you'll never want to get rid of it because you'll find out that it's less than $9.99, like that other network that we don't pay for.
Yep.
Dang.
Well, I pay for it.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
but yeah, Best of Super Junior Finals it could be it's Wednesday. So just in case y'all didn't,
I think it's Wednesday.
I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, June 5th, whatever day June 5th. Yeah, I think it's June 5th. All right, this is going on too long. All right, Mikey O, go ahead and take us home.
Well, before we go, I think people are sleeping on Major League Wrestling. They also have an event this Saturday.
Okay, go ahead and tell us about it.
Yeah, it's called Fury Road, and it's going to be free. You can watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
And BN Sports and all that other stuff.
It's going to be when, Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
What time?
Wednesday?
Hold on, Brink. What Saturday? What time Saturday?
Saturday, I think it starts at 6 p.m. possibly.
Yeah, that's what. So I'm gonna have to juggle Major League Wrestling and NXT Takeover 25.
I'm just saying, don't sleep on Major League Wrestling.
I'm
This
just
is a
gonna
great
go
event.
to work. That's all I'm gonna do.
Okay.
You won't have to juggle anything this Wednesday, June 5th.
Best of the Super Junior Finals. John Moxley's New Japan debut.
Jay White versus Tanahashi.
Yes, sir.
Juice Robinson cutting promos on her body.
Oh man, it's gonna be awesome.
It's a metacarpal. Okay.
I can't wait until Juice and Moxley start cutting promos on each other. That's gonna be epic.
Yeah, that should have started already. I would think.
Moxley already cut 2.
Well, there you go.
And they're going to settle the score this Wednesday, June 5th.
Yes, the Wednesday, June the 5th. If you're in the States, it'll be before the sun comes up. So,
Yeah.
Hashtag watch New Japan.
yes. All right. Well, with that being said, Mikey O, go ahead and take us home.
Let's get out of here. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch at The Average Marks. Patrick, do what you do, son.
Outro.
Wednesday.
You've been listening to the Average Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast with Michael Leander and Patrick Fry. All opinions discussed in the show are those of the Average Marks and do not represent any wrestling company, organization, or individual. For more information on the show, follow us on Twitter and iTunes. AMP is a proud member of the Roar Network, powered by thegorillaposition.com.